During World War II, in the heart of Nazi-occupied Poland, survival was a daily struggle. Fear was a constant companion, and the threat of deportation to concentration camps loomed over every town and village. But in the small community of Roswado, one doctor found a weapon more powerful than any gun: a simple injection. This is the incredible true story of how a fake epidemic saved an entire town. The year is 1941. Dr. Eugeniusz Łazowski, a young Polish physician, is watching his world crumble. The Nazis rule with an iron fist, and their fear of one disease is almost as great as their cruelty: typhus. Typhus outbreaks were terrifyingly common and highly contagious, and German soldiers were under strict orders to avoid any area suspected of infection. An entire region could be quarantined at the first sign of the disease. Dr. Łazowski, along with his friend Dr. Stanisław Machelewicz, stumbled upon a medical loophole. They discovered that injecting someone with a dead strain of bacteria called Proteus Ox-19 caused no harm. But it triggered a false positive on the standard typhus tests used by the Germans. The patient was perfectly healthy, but their blood told a different story. This discovery sparked a daring and incredibly dangerous plan. They began in secret, injecting villagers not with a vaccine, but with a lie. The first few blood samples sent to German labs came back positive for typhus. Then a dozen more. Then hundreds. Panic began to ripple through the German command. Was this the massive epidemic they had been dreading, fearing a widespread outbreak among their own troops? The German authorities made a swift decision. Roswado and 12 surrounding villages were officially declared a quarantine zone. Suddenly, everything changed. The deportation trains stopped. Nazi patrols no longer entered the town. The constant surveillance vanished. For the thousands of people living within this infected zone, a strange, fragile peace descended. They were spared not by fighting back, but by being perceived as a threat. The community was saved because the Nazis were too afraid to enter. Of course, maintaining this deception was a razor's edge. Dr. Łazowski had to be meticulous. He carefully selected who to inject, often choosing the elderly or those already showing signs of minor illnesses to make the epidemic look more convincing. He had to create a believable narrative of sickness and death, all while keeping his community safe and healthy. Every single day was a gamble. If their plan was discovered, it meant certain execution for him, his family, and everyone involved. The most terrifying moment came when a team of senior German doctors arrived to investigate the so-called typhus epidemic. This was the ultimate test. Discovery seemed inevitable. But Dr. Łazowski met them with a clever mix of hospitality and cunning. He welcomed the German delegation with a large meal and plenty of vodka, creating a relaxed, disarming atmosphere. He then led them on a tour, carefully presenting them with his sickest patients, elderly individuals suffering from common, non-contagious ailments. The German doctors, wary of getting too close and perhaps a bit clouded by the alcohol, saw what they expected to see. They confirmed the typhus outbreak and left as quickly as they could, reinforcing the quarantine order. The deception had worked. For 3 long years, this phantom epidemic protected the town. By the end of the war, it's estimated that around 8,000 people were saved from deportation and almost certain death. But Dr. Łazowski's heroism didn't stop there. Under the cover of the quarantine, he secretly sheltered and treated Jewish families who had escaped the ghettos, an act punishable by immediate death. He risked everything, not just for his own community, but for anyone in need. After the war, Dr. Łazowski eventually moved to the United States and worked as a pediatrician in Chicago. His extraordinary story remained largely unknown for decades. He wasn't a soldier or a general, but a quiet doctor who fought a war of intelligence, courage, and compassion. In a time of unimaginable darkness, he used science to create an island of safety, proving that, sometimes, it's the most powerful way to fight a monster is to create a phantom it's too afraid to face. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this story as inspiring as we did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible stories from history. I'll see you next time.